Asians respond dramatically to low doses and very unfavorably to low doses. So Asians aren't terribly prone. Another group which has a psychology that would not naturally lead to excessive drunkenness are Native Americans. Now they're especially prone, okay? In fact, so prone that at least 6 Native American tribes have criminalized alcohol on the reservation, made it illegal to buy alcohol on the reservation. Their concern is we're going to wipe ourselves out. We're going to kill ourselves, we're going to die. I worked with 2 Native Americans, both very young men who looked middle-aged, and both with serious cases of addiction, okay? Asians seem protected, Native Americans seem terribly prone. Okay? Why is that? Well, could be because this is a disease and not a psychiatric disorder. This is a disease and not a moral problem. Okay? That there's varying proneness among different groups to the same drug. To the same drug. No one that I know today is studying the alcoholic personality. Nowhere in this country that I know of is anyone studying the psychology of proneness to addiction. Everybody's studying dopamine, serotonin, GABA. No place is somebody saying, what are these guys and gals like? They're asking, how do their brains deal with the energy from alcohol? How do they handle the drug? This is a drug issue. It's a primary disease. NIDA started calling it that 5 years ago. A new definition of addiction from NIDA is addiction is a brain disorder. All right? The National Institute on Drug Abuse. The head of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, as a matter of fact, has been one of the primary researchers on the brain's proneness and has done research on dopamine. And she got rats to drink too much because she increased their dopamine levels and then got them not to drink so much by decreasing their dopamine levels. And she noticed 2 things, both truths. One, who is more prone to having addiction are the family members of addicts. Statistics tell us that. Adoption studies tell us that. That if your family history is positive, you run 4 times the risk for addiction as the rest of the population. Okay? She also noticed this. She said that not every member of an alcoholic family becomes alcoholic. And she wondered why. How come? Why are some prone and some protected? That was her essential question. You know what our answer was? Dopamine. That those who are prone have less dopamine and those who are protected have more. Okay? So all the research is being done along those kinds of lines. Most social drinkers will tell you this. I have 1 drink, feels good. I have 2, feels better. If I have the 3rd one, I get dizzy, groggy, sleepy, and sick. Now, dizzy, groggy, sleepy, and sick are the classic signs of system poisoning. Now, isn't it interesting that poison makes them feel poisoned? And that protects them. And that protects them. It's not willpower. They used their willpower. No, it's that they got dizzy, groggy, sleepy, sick. They don't want any more, all right? They'd be fools if they did, wouldn't they? They'd really have to have motives to become alcoholic then, wouldn't they? They ask an alcoholic how he responded. Some of them will tell you from the very beginning this was the way. Had 1 drink, felt good, 2 better, 3 magnificent, 4 spectacular, 5 out of this world, 6, please get me a telephone. I need to call the president. I think I need to do it now. You say, where's the protection against poison? The answer is not there. If it was at one time, it's gone. They have no built-in, they derive enormous pleasure and yet have no built-in protection against toxicity until they reach level 12. And level 12, it's stun elephants, for God's sake, all right? They get stunned too. Disease, not moral problem. not symptom of a psychiatric disorder. How many of you knew someone, one of the essential criteria for the diagnosis of addiction is tolerance, okay? Got to be in place. How many of you knew someone in high school who by the time they started drinking was already tolerant? I bet the rest of you, if you thought about it too, would say, you know something? You didn't say they were tolerant. You said, God, can't he hold a lot? Or she has a hollow leg. Were there people like that in your high school? Yeah. Well, they didn't develop tolerance. They came with it. It was already there. I have yet to meet an alcoholic who has said to me, I tried to become tolerant. That I had a half a pint of whiskey and I threw up. And I said, be damned if that's going to happen the second time, so I trained myself. I ate wheat German, I jogged, and I put down half a pint and I threw up again. And I kept working at this until I could keep that half pint down. I've never met someone who said that to me. You know what they tell you about their tolerance? One, was always there. I don't remember becoming tolerant. I could always hold more than everybody else. Or two, I don't know how it happened. It just happened. Dr. Milam in his book makes the statement, and I think it's probably right on target. We make the mistake that drinking causes tolerance when the truth is probably that heavy drinking causes tolerance, when the truth is probably that it's tolerance that causes heavy drinking. So why do you have to drink? Why are you drinking more? Because you can. And in fact, you have to. If you're going to get the pleasure from the drug, you have to use it in excessive amounts. Or else, don't drink it at all. Well, it causes too much pleasure. Oh, damn it, that's that problem again, isn't it? I love the drug that's killing me. Family history positives. If we could find a group of people who had a built-in psychological defense against addiction, we would know whether the mind could protect you against addiction, couldn't we? So let's find ourselves a group of people who don't ever want to become alcoholic themselves. If we could only find such a group, you know who? They're already there. You know who they are? The children of alcoholics. They already have the motive not to ever want to become alcoholics themselves, because most of them have seen the worst manifestations of that, have lived in that environment, and it's not fun. It's brutal, in fact, in some cases. Not all, but some. Does their strong motivation, psychic motivation to avoid addiction protect them? In fact, not only does it fail to protect them, they develop addiction at 4 times the rate of the rest of the population. Adoption studies tell us that. Take kids adopted away from their natural parent at birth, raise them in all kinds of other homes. If the family history was positive, they're 4 times more likely to become alcoholic, no matter where they're raised. No matter where they're raised. If the family history was negative, their risk for addiction doesn't increase even if they're raised in alcoholic homes. Got it? There have been at least 10 major adoption studies that reach the same conclusion.